What's up guys, I'm Roderick, aka Rodman, and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the saddest lore from each Souls game. One thing that the Souls series is known for is its very detailed and intricate lore, and a lot of it tends to be very sad and depressing. If you like anime, retro video gaming, and gameplay videos, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content just like this. So let's get right into the video. So for the saddest lore in Demon Souls, I'm definitely going to go with the story of Maiden Ashriea. Pretty much the story behind Maiden Ashriea is that she went to the Valley of Defilement to try to help the people there. You know, cause everybody down there is sick, deformed, they're going through a lot of bullcrap. And side note, I actually rated the Valley of Defilement as the worst area in Demon Souls. So if you want to check out that video where I rank all the worst areas, definitely go ahead and check that out. But pretty much, she's left with one option because it's very complicated to try to heal the people. She pretty much lobotomizes them almost and leaves them emotionless and stuff. But what makes this boss fight really sad in the lore is that pretty much you kill this unarmed woman and it's super sad and you one-shot her, and it's kind of like, dang, she really was just trying to help the people down there. And you know, her dialogue is really sad and it's just really hurtful that, you know, you have to kill somebody that was just trying to do good. But let's go ahead and move on to Dark Souls 1. So this shouldn't surprise anybody. The saddest lore in Dark Souls 1 is definitely the Grey Wolf Sith. This guy's story is super sad, and honestly it probably is the saddest story in all of Souls history. So pretty much the aspect of this lore is that there's this giant wolf that's protecting his master's grave. This guy's already been dead, and the story of his master is that he tried to go defeat an evil being that is known as Manus. He's pretty much the king of the abyss, and he was not successful in doing that. He died, and pretty much the Wolf Sith is not only protecting his grave, he's also protecting anybody who is trying to fight Manus, because obviously he's super deadly. But you have to kill Sith to fight Manus, because you need the item that is at the grave. It gives you the ability to traverse through the abyss, and without doing that you literally cannot fight Manus. And it's super sad killing Sith, but it's also really cool summoning Sith to fight Manus with you so he can avenge his master. That was also really dope. But this boss fight is definitely one of the saddest in the entire series. But let's go ahead and move on to Dark Souls 2. So the saddest lore in Dark Souls 2, this is pretty hard because I was going to say the lore of your character being a cursed undead, but I'm going to go ahead and go with King Vendrick, just because it's like a heroic sacrifice almost, but it's like he just caught the crappy end of the stick. So pretty much him and his wife wanted to find a cure to the curse of being an undead, and that just went completely wrong. He pretty much found out that his wife was one of the Child of the Dark. So to prevent his wife from getting the Throne of Want, he actually pretty much sacrificed himself by putting his soul behind a door that can only be opened by someone who can defeat him, which is obviously your player. So it's just super sad. He never found a cure to the undead curse, and he's just like down here in the crypt just as a hollow. and it's just super crappy because he just wanted to do the right thing and do something good for that world, which was finding a cure to the undead curse. But shout out to King Vendrick, man. He's an optional boss. You should definitely fight this guy. One of the best boss fights in Dark Souls 2. He's very challenging as well, or he can be very challenging. But let's go ahead and move on to Dark Souls 3. So for the saddest lore in Dark Souls 3, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Twin Princes. Why? Is because imagine your life. Imagine you were told that you have to sacrifice your life like your ancestors did to keep the flame going. You don't want to do that. Me personally, I wouldn't want to sacrifice my life to keep a mediocre world running. There's a lot of problems in the Dark Souls world. I don't want to sacrifice my life to keep that world going. So imagine if you don't do that, and then this super powerful dude pulls up to your home and kills you and your brother. Me personally, that's quite sad. From an outsider looking in and trying to put it in perspective and putting myself in the shoes of the Twin Princes. But there's actually a lot of sad lore in Dark Souls 3. For example, I would look into Gundyr, Champion Gundyr. Yorm is pretty sad. Yorm, he just always taking L's, it seemed like. But I really do believe that the Twin Princes do take the cake. You know, having the burden of sacrificing your life and also being slaughtered with your brother is also very sad. But let's go ahead and move on to Bloodborne. So for the saddest lore on Bloodborne, and actually this is very, very, very difficult because Bloodborne overall is an extremely sad game. Everything about this game is sad. But I'm gonna go with Ludwig the Accursed. Why? It's just like another one of those stories, almost like King Vendrick and Maiden Ashriea. It's kind of like when a good person just gets screwed over by the world that they live in. Pretty much the story of Ludwig is that he was the founder of the Church Hunters, and they would go around obviously killing beasts and whatnot. And eventually he found his holy moonlight great sword, which is like a sentient being almost, and he was really, really powerful. And he also symbolized and was very just optimistic and just overall a great person in this depressing world. And eventually, slowly, the bloodlust got to him, and he ended up killing all of his men, and he ended up being transformed into a weird hybrid beast that it's like a cross between a human and a horse. And I just think that it's just super sad when good people catch the bad end of the stick. But there are a lot of sad lores in Bloodborne. For example, Garamond's lore is actually really, really sad. That's definitely going to be the runner-up for me. Lawrence's is very sad. But that is going to wrap it up for Bloodborne. So let's go ahead and move on to Sekiro, which honestly I believe has the saddest lore. So I believe that the saddest lore in Sekiro is definitely going to go to the Armored Warrior. And it's actually pretty short and simple. Pretty much this guy is tasked with killing you. And if he doesn't kill you, his son dies. And obviously, you're the main character of the game, so this guy has to go down. And what really hurts me is that the gimmick of this fight is that you can't kill him by normal means. You have to push him off the edge of the side of the building, and once he's going down, he like is yelling his son's name because he knows he's gonna die. Oh my gosh, it just hurts my soul, man. It just hurts my soul so much. Yeah, see, when he goes down right here, he's screaming his son's name, Robert, man. Man, that is so sad. But that's what I think the saddest lore is in Sekiro. So let's move on to Elden Ring. So I believe that the saddest lore in Elden Ring is definitely going to go to Melania. And the reason why I think that her lore is so sad, it just seems that a lot of bad things just happen to her. Now, don't get me wrong, Melania does do a lot of bad things as well, such as trying to kill people to fight over shards of the Elden Ring. But overall, it just seems like she just got a lot of, the poor end of the stick. But pretty much the lore behind Melania is that she is the daughter of Marika and Radagon, and she gets half of the Elden Ring alongside of her twin brother Miquella. That's why her name is the Blade of Miquella. But long story short, they end up fighting over the Elden Ring, all of her siblings, which a notable battle is Melania versus Radahn, which ended in a stalemate. But long story short, Melania ends up getting cursed with something called Scarlet Rot, which is why Caelid is the way it is. That's why the Lake of Rot is the way it is. And that's just bad. That's just bad. That's just something terrible to have happen to you. Why would you want to be cursed with Scarlet Rot? Then on top of that, a cherry on top, Mog, which is her half brother, actually literally just pulled up and stole Miquella, which is Melania's twin brother, and has him chilling inside a cocoon. That's messed up. Melania has been through a lot of stuff, emotionally, physically, with all her battles. She's a tough knot. She is a tough knot. Some honorable mentions would honestly be Godric. And after doing a bit of research, the pumpkin heads, like the random bosses that you two-shot in Elden Ring, those guys' lore are pretty sad. So I would check into that as well. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe for more content just like this. Rawman out. Peace.